Look, I'll just introduce myself. I'm not actually the executive director of Adriatic Metals. I was recently demoted to MD and CEO. Since then, we've been working really hard to try and move this project forward in a very efficient, logical and value-adding method. Adriatic Metals was incorporated in early 2017 specifically to acquire a mining concession in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The mining concession had two assets, one Veovača, an open pit operation that was built by the Yugoslavs in the 1980s. The pit was there, the plant area was there, infrastructure is all there, rail, road, tailings dam, power. But it also had another asset, a brownfield exploration asset about 12 kilometres away called Rupice. And that's where we've been focusing most of our attention since mid-2017. Bosnia, despite, a negative rap from its recent history, is actually a great jurisdiction. The workforce is skilled and educated. There's fantastic infrastructure. It's at the heart of Europe. It's got fantastic connections via rail and shipping port into almost everywhere in Europe and the world. Bosnia is not in the EU, so it's slightly ahead of Britain in that regard, but I'm sure Britain will catch up. In terms of the project, just Tuesday this week, we released our scoping study for the Vareš project, looking at the two mines, Rupice as an underground operation mining 800,000 tonnes a year, followed by Veovača as an open pit operation, giving a 15-year mine life. It produces pretty compelling economics. NPV 8 is a little over 900 US internal rate of return. These are all post-tax. Internal rate of return over 100%. Very moderate capex, and there's a lot of work at the moment to improve that in the pre-feasibility. But the projects generate a significant amount of free cash flow. We've recently completed a 25 million Australian capital raise with institutional investors in London, Asia, the US and Australia. So we're well financed to deliver on what we need to do in the next year and a half. And our permitting is moving ahead very, very quickly. We've recently been awarded our water permits as part of our exploitation licence. Our environmental approvals are expected imminently. And our full exploitation licence is expected before the end of this calendar year. There's a little bit of the detail about the scoping study. What we are doing is mining extremely high-grade material early in the mine life, going underground through two 410-metre, 12% declines into what is essentially 5 million tonnes of 35% zinc equivalent. That is why the economics of the project are so compelling, because we can generate free cash flow of over $1 billion in the first 6 years of operation. We have put out a maiden resource on Rupice, and that maiden resource has been included in the scoping study. Since we did that maiden resource in July, we have been doing a lot of exploration drilling. We've been drilling on the up-dip portion of the deposit. We've been drilling on the down plunge to the north. We're also now intersected in a second zone of mineralisation to the south, which we are drilling currently. We have 5 drill rigs at Rupice right now. They are continuing to convert inferred into indicated, but more importantly, they're continuing to step out, expanding strike both to the north and the south, as well as testing some other areas on our licence, which I'll go into in a few moments. We've done fairly extensive metallurgical work. We know that we can recover these various metals in 3 separate concentrates, and we are currently looking at how we might separate copper into a 4th concentrate stream. We've done extensive marketing studies to understand what the payability of those concentrates would be, what the penalties would be, what the shipping rates would be, insurance, port handling charges. We've accounted for everything in terms of the total deductions from our plant. Veovača, much lower grade than Rupice, but provides an important asset for our total project in Bosnia. Our local community in the town of Vareš is a proud mining town. It wants to see mining restarted again. The town was actually founded in 1896 after the discovery of a large iron ore deposit just outside the current town. That operated until 1990. The Veovača mine operated in the 1980s, and this is a jurisdiction of people who have been born and bred through mining families. Our local community want to see a long mine life. They want to see a generational change, and that's what we're trying to offer them. So whilst we're mining the higher grade deposit at Rupice first, we will also be bolting on another 5.5 years of mining operations out of the existing open pit at Veovača. However, it is the region here that has got us most interested. There are no other junior exploration companies in Bosnia, and there's one simple reason for it. If you want a mineral concession, it's 500,000 euros per square kilometre up front on the day you sign the contract. No one will pay it. We've paid it for very, very small concessions, but those concessions were targeted based on extensive historical information. When we bought this company, we acquired 108 hectares of freehold land. On one of the buildings on that land, we discovered about 1,500 typed reports that detailed every bit of exploration that was completed by a Yugoslav government-owned corporation called Energo Invest in between 1960 and 1990. It has taken us over a year and a half to scrape off the bird poo, to decipher these damaged pages, to digitise that, to database that, to analyse that, and we are now ready and in a great position to take on new concessions, to commence drilling in new areas that we've never looked at before or didn't even know existed until now. So over the course of this winter and throughout next year, we're going to continue to drill out Rupice, north, south, on the east and on the west. We're going to focus more drill rigs on an area called Jurassic Brestic, where we know the Yugoslavs constructed at it and mined high-grade polymetallic mineralisation. We're also going to focus on an area called Orti. Orti, previously we didn't have a lot of data on, but we have now identified drill core, and that drill core is heavily mineralised with silver. We've done soil geochemistry on that area. We've also swung around to the west because our LiDAR survey showed us some historic workings which we believe to be Austro-Hungarian. There's 2% zinc in the soils there, so we're going to go underground and see what's there as well. We have a pipeline of projects that we want to develop in and around the region of Vareš, and we have the advantage to do it because we own the data, we have the team, and we have the relationship in the local community and with the government. Our local community initiatives have been extensive since day one. We sponsor our local football club. We are the club's main sponsor. It doesn't cost us a lot of money, but it provides a lot of benefit to the club. We've recently sponsored Bosnia's only rugby club. These kids in this rugby club get on a bus every Friday night. They travel to France, to Italy, to Germany, to Austria to play rugby on a Saturday afternoon. We're very proud to be sponsoring that rugby club. We also support a number of other community initiatives, which is going systematically in building our social licence in the country. And I think as a result of that, we've found our permitting path to be relatively painless in Bosnia. The mining code there is really straightforward. It's very simple. It's exactly as what you saw in the Soviet Union. We have received extensions to our concessions. We've had our reserves elaborates accepted with glowing feedback from government. We've received our water permits. We're about to get our environmental permit. By the end of the year, we'll have our exploitation licence, and over the course of 2020, we'll work on our EIA and our bankable feasibility study. That will mean that we can then submit for an operations permit and start construction. Our time frame for this project is aggressive. We are looking to start construction of the project in Q2 2021 and start production in Q2 2022. These are the timeframes for the project, and you'll be able to download that from our website and have a better look at it. Our management team is extensive. We've got a lot of experience in mining. We've got a lot of experience in corporate finance. We're listing on the London Stock Exchange in the second week of December, all going well, and we've got the team in place to do it. Share price, we listed at 20 cents on the ASX, we're $1.30 today. We were the best performing IPO on the ASX in 2018. We'll try and be it again in 2020. Thanks very much.